Hello everybody, my name's Jim and today we're going to talk about fear and anger in the afterlife. I have touched on this subject once before. Remember that like the door slam video? I was talking about they slammed the door while we were in the basement of Hilbert, and there was a fellow down there that was absolutely frightened of the invisible people on the first floor. Today I'm going to go a little more in depth in this subject. We're going to go back to Forgedale. Colleen and I started Forgedale in the spring of that year. And during the spring and the summer, we would walk all through the house, including the attic. The attic had two doors, one in the old section of the house and one in a newer section that wasn't quite 300 years old. And we would just do this big loop, put our heads in each one of the rooms and ask, "Hi, how you doing?" Hope for responses. That's how we started this. And by the time the end of the summer showed up, they knew what we were doing because we were repeating back to them what we heard on the recorders. They figured it out. And they decided the best course of action was to hide. And hide in the apartment. They used that word apartment over and over, different people, different sexes. It was always hide in the apartment, go to the apartment, we'll meet in the apartment. It was the attic. By the fall of the year, now this is after the hot summer, the hot, sticky, humid summer, those doors opened fine. By the fall of the year when it got cooler, we could never open those doors again. No locks. Just they're like closet doors. But we would never had access to the attic again. The invisible people just locked us out. You can kind of picture them on the other side of the door, everybody holding on to it, trying to keep us out. But it didn't stop there. In Hilbert, I mentioned at one point, I can't hear you unless you are close to the recorders. A woman replies, "I'm in terrible fear." These people are scared of us humans. We're on the second floor, and Colleen's looking up to the attic, and she could see like separations in the floorboards. And she says, "I could see through the floor." And a man right there says to her, "You anger me." There was a very loud gentleman the summer before. This is the second summer we're at Hilbert. The summer before, a fellow by the name of Joseph. We got to know Joseph pretty good, actually. And Colleen is asking about Joseph from last year. And a man replies, "He ain't home, just afraid like the rest of us." We kind of take issue with that because Joseph talked to us almost as loud as you can hear me, which is incredibly loud for these people in the afterlife. He spoke super loud, but he did seem to have gotten in trouble. He would still answer our questions, but every week he got quieter and quieter, as if he was being pushed further and further away. He was never afraid, but this fella is making an excuse for him. I don't know. Colleen reminds them, "We can't see dead people. Did you forget that when you were alive?" A man responds, "Don't try to scare the children that are with me." After our father died, Colleen would go up to our mother's house with some recorders, check things out, see where the old man was, maybe. At one point, she's asking about her father, and a woman responds to somebody, "This is scaring me." In Colleen's own house, she's talking about her grandfather, Finnegan, about when he was alive. And a male, and this is such a standard line, "I'm scared of you." Colleen is asking about a dog she saw in her living room. It was like almost, it was damn near invisible and had bright yellow eyes. She saw it. She saw it clearly enough, and she saw it move from the living room out towards her front door and through the foyer. And she's asking about this. There's a lot of replies, but one fella says, "The enemy. The dog's the enemy." Another guy says, "Coming around makes a fear that you experience." Coming around makes a fear that you experience. So the dog was created so Colleen would have that experience. So Colleen could experience fear. I'm not sure what that fellow is talking about, but the dog was there for a reason. Perhaps Colleen needed the experience, for whatever reason, of seeing a really, really scary dog in her house that did not belong there. Colleen, both men and women in her house, "I'm scared of you, Colleen." Part of the reasons is that they have to be careful what they say that we can record. If they give us more information than they should, they get hammered for it. And of course, being seen, they're not supposed to be seen by us humans. That is something else they get in trouble for. I did a video on that a while back about things, the ghosts that we've seen. They always seem shocked. And part of the reason too is Colleen is a big shot in the afterlife. So they all kind of walk on eggshells around Colleen. They're really nice to her. They don't use vulgarity. They're just nice to Colleen. Whereas me, I'm not a big shot in the afterlife, so they curse and threaten me, and it's kind of fun to watch, to be honest with you. But here in this house in Volcancito in Panama, it's the same thing. They don't like to be here, and they tell me that. "I hate coming here," is a standard comment. Every time I do a study here, I record somebody saying that. And I believe the reason is because they're lower level people. They don't have the ability to travel like everybody else. They can't just zip up to Pennsylvania. So they're stuck here. They don't have all their friends around them. They don't have all their family around them necessarily. They just simply look forward to me going back to Pennsylvania. I'll do a study here shortly, probably one of my last studies here before I leave, and I'll ask them who's coming with me and who's staying to watch the house. And there will be a few brave souls that'll stay here to watch this house until I get back here in 6 months. And the vast majority are more than happy to get back to Pennsylvania with me. Good for them. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the video, subscribe. I need everybody to subscribe, super important. Hey, just send a link over to your friends, and just they have to subscribe. Appreciate it. Thanks.